another episode off the rack. I'm Sal.
And I'm Tiffany.
That's right. It's a comic book review show. We take comic books from the past week and talk about them with you, and then recommend comics that are coming out this week that we think you should check out. But before we do that, we have to jump into the news. We're talking about stuff that happened in the world of comic books. Then we're going to do our reviews. Then we're going to pick out our book of the week, and then we'll read your super chats. If you are watching the show live, you are the lucky few who are actually participating in the show as it's happening, which is kind of the conceit of this show. It's a live show where anything can happen. Hopefully nothing unexpected, because I really like to keep this show on lockdown. But yeah, if you want to ask a question or comment, we'll read it here on the show, be part of the show forever, and we'll answer those at the end, right after Book of the Week. And then we'll recommend comics that are coming out this week we think you should check out. We also have a couple of special guests.
Ooh!
That's right. I am very excited today.
That was a real ooh. It didn't sound like a real ooh.
No, I thought it sounded pretty legitimate.
Yeah.
But I'm quite excited. I got my old pals from the old days. And when I say the old days, I mean, like, we didn't really... They're more colleagues, really. Contemporaries, if you will, that are coming to the show. And I'm very excited to have them.
That's awesome.
In a little while. In a little while.
See, that makes it sound like it's someone else, but it's not.
It's not. No. This is Ethan Parker and Griffin Sheridan.
You can be excited. From
the Ryan Stegman podcast, and of course from their own fantastic endeavors. You should check them out. We'll talk more about that when they get here.
I love it. I almost yelled, like, did the opening over you as you were doing it. And I was like, that's not helpful.
What?
Hey everyone, welcome to Off the Rack. Like, I was like, no.
No.
Immediately just no.
Yep.
Not gonna do it. Forget it.
Forget it.
Forget it.
That's fair. Yeah. So let's jump into it. Before we do, there was a big article that came out from Rolling Stone magazine that was a kind of like a profile feature conversation with James Gunn about the upcoming DC universe and his career to some extent, but mostly his career through the lens of the DC cinematic universe and his plans and stuff like that. So a lot, you'll see a lot of segments from that interview taken entirely out of context and put against some kind of a flashy backdrop, or maybe you'll watch a vertical video of somebody saying, we have to talk about this, and it'll be some weird, terrible, just, summarization of the article. So I put it in the chat right now. You can check it out at your leisure. But the long and the short of it is, there's just a couple of questions that were asked of James Gunn that were pretty interesting about the DC cinematic universe. One, Batman is a big priority for them as far as getting a Batman movie out there. I'm
sorry, are you telling me that DC has a priority to Batman?
That's right. But he seemed a little like kind of disappointed by it. Not like that he was not a Batman fan, but rather he's like, we know that Batman is like the biggest character ever, and he's like easily the biggest character that, and this is his words, that Warner Brothers owns. And I'm like, fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's like, I know we like need to get that on lockdown, and we're working it out.
Get Batman working.
No big script. No script at this time for a new Batman movie. They are still tentatively calling it Batman Brave and the Bold, which was one of the few original holdovers from the like rollout of what their plans were. Apparently, out of the plans that they did roll out with originally, one movie has been completely killed. They just threw it out because they couldn't get the script going. And that is, for him, a high priority. It's obviously the number one priority. His opinions about movies and cinema and the death of movie theaters and stuff like that, it's very interesting. He was talking about how, like, the problem he feels with movies isn't that people don't want to go. It's that they're bad. Like, that people go to production without having a full, complete script that they love.
Oh, sure. It's like how AAA titles shifted from having a completed game to just like,
we'll fix it later. We'll give you a bunch of patches.
Or we'll give you DLC that you can pay for.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I understand the movie industry aping off of the video game industry in a big way. But yeah, so that was one thing they're working on. Whether it's why it killed one of the DC projects that apparently had been announced. I'm assuming it's probably Swamp Thing. But he never got into details. Wonder Woman is another priority as far as getting the Wonder Woman movie going.
Sure.
It was funny because he said Wonder Woman actually might be a little easier to get going than Batman.
Just less
less stuff to compete with.
Less stuff to compete with, less stuff to look back on and go like, but we've already done that.
Yeah.
They're like, that said, we're thinking World War II. We're thinking Ares. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. I mean, listen, they didn't do World War II. So.
Oh, that's right. They did World War I. I apologize.
But
yeah, that's how they're going to change it.
Boom.
Turn this whole thing on its
head. A whole Wonder Woman movie set in World War II. He was asked about the Batman and about how long it's taking for a sequel, and he's like, Matt Reeves takes Matt Reeves' time. He needs to do what he needs to do. He's welcome to.
He goes into a cave,
right? And then
the Bats,
20 years later, comes out with a sequel to the Batman. But he's like, basically, he took no responsibility for it. He's just like, it's going to take as long as he needs, and I'm not going to like give him a hard time about it.
Sure.
But I'm also not going to excuse the fact that it takes forever for him to make this thing.
Gotcha.
I'm also going to be asked multiple times about whether the Batman will be the Batman of the DC universe. And he's like, we have actively talked about it, but no. Like, as of right now of this interview, no, Robert Pattinson's Batman is not the DCU Batman.
Right.
That we are working on a completely separate Batman, and that shouldn't be a problem, and no one will be confused. And I agree. I mean, I genuinely feel like you could have two Batmans running around, and no one's going to really be that confused.
Well, you see, his movie title is The Batman, but really he's just a Batman. He's not the Batman.
No.
Which we will have the Batman, but in the movie The Batman, he's a Batman.
That's right. Because when everyone asks about the Batman, they're talking about the Batman from the universe that has Superman in it. And they're going to be like, no, not that Batman. So they'll have to change it, really. So it'll go from the Batman to that Batman.
To that Batman.
Which I think is fine. Or that man, if you will.
That man!
Which I think is a catchy title.
Sure, why not?
But yeah, so he's working on that. There is an idea in place. He says he had a hard time kind of like figuring out his entry point for Batman, but he's figured it out, and they're working it out. They're working out that story. But I mean, I wouldn't expect to see cinematic Batman for at least 5 years. Not that the article said that. That's me extrapolating, but it's going to take forever.
Yeah,
because it's going to take them they don't have a story, so it's going to take at least a year to get a script going, and then you're going to have to deal with like another 6 months to a year of casting and talent acquisition.
And it's not just a script going; it's a question of we haven't even seen Superman, right? And we've already seen that within this world there are other heroes, so it's like, are there going to be references to that? Like, are they going to have to work around how they're going to introduce this character? Or is this script going to be solely a Batman film? Is it going to, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many questions they're going to have to answer.
Oh, I agree. I know. So that's interesting.
That is interesting.
Yeah, it's a very weighty article. It's full of fun nuggets of information about the upcoming DC universe. He's apparently not nearly as concerned as many other like armchair opinion-based content creators out there who are like, if this Superman movie doesn't do well, the DCU is effed. He's kind of like, I mean, not really. Like, I'll be fine.
He's like, I'm good.
I'm sure he's more like, I mean, I won't get fired. Or if I do, I'll just go run Marvel.
Yeah, I'll just do whatever.
Yeah. So we'll see. He also talked about how they did drop the Legacy name from Superman Legacy, the movie that they made, and how basically they have like little meetings before. They're called like, I think he used like a pre-mortem.
They're called pretings.
Yeah. He called them a pre-mortem, and it was basically like, okay, who's got a problem with this? Like, what is the concern here? And one of them was just like, should we even bother calling it Superman Legacy? And everyone's like, if you're talking about like a future for Superman, you probably shouldn't be making a title about the past.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, yeah, we'll just call it Superman. And it's like, yeah, that's a smart idea. And I like the idea of him like having these meetings with people that he trusts and stuff like that. Tom King got a name drop in there.
Oh, good for Tom.
Yeah, one full direct reference and then another subtle one where he's like, read the script of Lanterns, it's amazing. Read the Supergirl, it's amazing. I think they dropped Woman of Tomorrow from the title of Supergirl as well. According to this article, it's no longer being called Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. It's just called Supergirl.
See, that I don't like, because that is meant to directly reference a very specific book.
Right.
And I feel like them dropping that
as opposed to like the Superman movie being a hodgepodge of everything.
Exactly. And so like, I'm wondering if they're like, we're going to drop it also because we're not going to do exactly the thing. So
yeah. Well, they're definitely not going to do exactly the thing because Lobo's in that movie.
Boo.
But I also remind you that Lobo was in the original pitch for the book you love.
But he wasn't in the final.
I know.
There's a reason.
The reason was
I'm just saying, like, it all works out, and
yes.
There's a ton of things in many works that we've like love and whatever, that things have changed, and that doesn't mean just because they were like originally going to be in there that they should be treated as though they were always in there.
No, it was probably more like, let's put Lobo in here.
Yeah,
I think it was probably, there's an opportunity for Lobo in here, and then rather than create a bounty hunter, let's just make it Lobo and add to this universe. I mean, it could be worse. And when I say worse, not just in terms of directing, acting, script, I don't know anything about that, but I could say, I mean, Superman, everyone's like, oh, I can't wait for a great Superman movie. This movie has Metamorpho, Mr. Terrific, Guy Gardner, Hawkgirl, the engineer from the Authority. Like, there's a lot of characters in this movie.
I gotta better hope there are no like Godzillas in the area.
No, there's a kaiju that attacks Metropolis.
Oh, he better watch out.
I know.
He's not had good luck.
But yeah, there's a great shot from a new teaser that came out where Superman and Guy Gardner go head to head, and for a second I was like, oh man, really excited. It convinced me that Nathan Fillion may have been cast because he's like James Gunn's friend.
Yeah.
But that Fillion is a great actor and a good choice for that role. And I think he's going to be fun. Because the thing about Guy Gardner is, like, even at the core, he is like not a good guy, but like he's worthy. And he has moments where you have to admit that even Guy can be cool. And I'm hoping that Fillion can walk that line. And of course, he'll be in Peacemaker as well.
Sure, absolutely.
So yeah, it's a very interesting article. It's got a ton of stuff in there. Check that out. Also, if you're on social media, you should check out IDW got taken over by its marketing manager, Greg, or publicity manager, I should say. Not marketing, publicity manager. And yeah, they're doing like a kind of day in the life.
It's awesome.
So if you're interested in asking that good guy some questions on social media, you can do so on the Twitters, or you can see they did the exact same video on TikTok as well. So
that's awesome.
Check out IDW on social, and you can ask them some questions.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah. So jumping into some comics that came out,
sure,
which we might as well on our comic book show. I would like to talk very briefly about the book that we recommended from last week. The Death of the Silver Surfer.
There he is.
There it is. There he is, dying right there.
Sorry, Norin.
Yep. This is written by Greg Pak with art by Sumit Kumar. So yeah, this is very bad. I'm sorry. I don't mean to mince words. I don't want to mince words, but I also don't want to be reductive. I don't like this. The book is 99% creating new characters and introducing them to you so that they can be part of Silver Surfer's lore and story. And no, they're not like people from Zenla. It's just this weird book about, I'm glad to hear that I'll be paid for my work. It's just about like this character and this new space organization that like is like a rival to Shield and Sword. I don't know what's happening. Like it's
called Lance.
I read comics and I have no idea if this is like a thing I missed or if this is the first I'm seeing of this organization that has like space people in it, but like they have like video game armor on and they're flying through portals and they're going to different planets and they're like, they got coffee and they're like space quarters. It's like Alien meets like Halo. I'm just like, I don't know what this is.
Okay.
And then they're like, and then it turns out the corporate or the space group was bought by like an evil anti-superhero company / like guy who hates Silver Surfer, or like is just like, yeah, you got to kill these characters, so like go kill Silver Surfer, and it's just like really weird. It's just a weird book. And then the book ends. It's not even like she tries to assassinate Silver Surfer, she fails, and I'm like, yeah, you better. Like, you shot him with a gun. And then they're like, okay, well, don't worry about that because he's too powerful for you. You can't possibly beat Silver Surfer. I'm sorry I bothered to make you do that. And I'm like, oh no, my protagonist feels bad and the bad guy's making her feel worse. So she's going to work double hard to make sure that he does something about this. So she's going to go kill Scar now.
So everything you just said sounds like something I would actually enjoy.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of lost on the I didn't read this. I did not read this. I didn't even remember it came out. But looking at this cover, I don't know how I forgot.
This cover is not what this book is.
It's gorgeous. This is a gorgeous cover. I really like its simplicity. I think it is just
Silver Surfer lends himself to this kind of art.
It absolutely does. Like, no one is more lonely other than Pariah than Silver Surfer. Like, Silver Surfer is just like, hey, I'm perpetually alone. And it's okay. It makes me look hot.
Yeah.
It's just a stunning cover.
Yeah. Yeah, the cover's the best thing about this.
Okay.
And the implication that maybe like Scar will die. Because Scar sucks. But I think Greg Pak invented Scar. Does that make sense? It also deeply explains why he's not in the Imperial event.
I would just like everybody to know, every time you say Scar, my brain just inputs a lion for a quick second.
Long live the king.
Literally, I'm just like, Scar? No.
Yeah, no. Scar with 2 A's.
She's going to go kill Scar and save Mufasa. She's going to go back in time and change it all up. Got it. Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that is why he's not an Imperial. That could be.
I mean, I can imagine Pak being like, nope, you can't use/kill Scar. I'm going to be in charge of that character. I invented them in the first place. Okay, knock yourself out. The book's called Death of the Silver Surfer. There's a lot of Silver Surfering, at least in the first half of it, where like, I don't know, Surfer kind of like he was a Doombringer. He was a death merchant. He brought Galactus and Doom to countless civilizations, and we see him kind of like being this healer and this life bringer, not capital L like Galactus had been under Al Ewing, but rather just like, hey, watch it, Silver Surfer do stuff and be kind of, and all I could think about was that sequence in Rick and Morty where Morty like steals Rick's portal gun when he's drunk, and goes back to places that they've been and undoes the damage that they do. Like that's the feeling I got, was like Silver Surfer being like, I'm going to try and atone, but it's not like a moment where he's like, I'm going to atone. It's just more like, this is the status quo for Silver Surfer right now, which is all over the place anyway.
I mean, like, could you imagine if Hulk lost both of his sons?
Yeah. I actively root for it every day. So this is fine.
What about that Hulk baby?
Right? Oh, that Hulk baby's in another reality.
Well, what about that one?
Yeah. Kumar does the best he can with what he has. There's a couple of great, like, big moments. There's a vexing Scarecrow Galactus that he renders rather well. The action is
Scarecrow Galactus?
Yeah,
do you mean like Batman Scarecrow, or do you mean like Scarecrow in a field Scarecrow?
Like a field. So like,
well, like I meant like you could be like saying that like they changed up his look and that he looks like that.
Nah, he's not even.
No, he looks like a scarecrow, like in a field.
Like they made one. They made a scarecrow to like lure Silver Surfer.
It's just filled with hay.
Yeah, I mean it's set against. You can't see his. He's only a silhouette.
He has overalls on. They're like, this is all we got.
Yeah,
we had like really big overalls. That was it.
Yeah, I mean that's where we got the idea. It's just like it's a poor showing for a book that opens with the death of the Silver Surfer, and like I don't think
does it say let's go back?
No, I don't think the premise is strong enough to support like this cover.
It's so great cover.
It is. It's a shame though that it's not like a better book.
Okay,
but yeah. So yeah, I'm bummed myself because I bought this.
Because I spent money on this.
Because I spent money on it, and I was excited to read it.
I might read it then.
I hope you do.
Because I don't know. Maybe I'll like it
more.
But that cover is so good, though.
Well, the book looks nothing like this.
I know. Well,
this is not the book.
But that is comics, right? Like 9 times out of 10, unless you're reading an independent book, the cover doesn't always reflect the style within the book. It's just like connotate like a feeling, but it doesn't always. I mean, we're very used to it at that point, or at this point. I mean, we did literally this week. We filmed a big special episode for Back Issues where I got to make the like, you can judge this book by its cover.
Yeah.
And you could. I don't love that saying. I don't like it being true, but you could 100%.
Yeah. Yes. Well, anyway, why don't you get out of here for a little while? Because
I will, and I brought my Switch this time. Later, chumps.
Yeah, that's right. Thanks for being here, Tiffany, and we'll look forward to your speedy arrival soon enough. But for now, we're going to take a minute and welcome a special guest of the show, your friend and mine. Oh, man.
Hello. How's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks so much for having me and my writing partner, Griffin Sheridan, on, who will allegedly be here.
I saw you here, so I thought, you know what, might as well just...
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. I was just sitting on my hands.
Yeah. Well, how you
doing, it's great
man?
to see you, man. It's been a minute. And there's a lot going on. We've been busy boys.
You have been busy, from your Eisner-nominated book, Kill Your Darlings, to helping to flesh out the Kaisei era of Godzilla at IDW.
Yes, Kaisei. Yeah, that's something that I've seen a lot in print and have not heard spoken aloud too much yet.
Yeah,
but I can confirm that it is Kaisei. Yeah,
thank you, Kaisei. Okay, yeah, we talked about it briefly on this show when we promoted it before. But yeah, you're part of this whole initiative, and I'm very excited to see it fleshed
universe.
Out. I know
it's about time.
Yeah, and speaking of about time, Griffin Sheridan, everybody, welcome to the show.
There he is.
There he is, indeed. Welcome back, man.
Did somebody say we need another bearded gentleman on this call? They said yes. I said
this is a podcasting first. 3 white guys with beards. I don't think it's ever been done before.
I know.
Breaking new ground for sure. And talking about Godzilla. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Certainly not. I'm stoked.
Yeah.
Sal,
well, Griffin. Oh, my pleasure, man. Griffin, we were just talking about the Kaisei era or universe of Godzilla. Can you tell us a little bit about what brought you guys to IDW and how your chapter, your avenue in that world took form?
Yeah, I mean, I can kick us off by saying that the wonderful editor Jake Williams tracked us down in San Diego and was like, hey, I like you guys, I like your stuff, like we should do something together. And we were like, absolutely. And that was really cool because like when we've started breaking into the industry at like an interesting time, and we're kind of looking around like, what is this, what is our generation of creators like? There aren't a whole lot of people that are around our age at the moment. There's like sparse few, and Jake is one of the ones who is in the space. He's a fresh face, and he's doing cool stuff, and he's got big ideas, and this whole Godzilla universe thing, it was something that he was a big champion for and wanted to get off the ground. And he came to us and was like looking for some fresh faces to get into the mix and to have some cool new ideas. And yeah, he was really stoked to pitch the idea to us and to get us involved, and laid out that specifically there was a corner of the universe that he wanted to build out, which would be some sort of wasteland situation. And he really let us run wild with it.
Yep.
Yep.
That does about sum it up. But yes, ditto on everything Ethan has just said. It's been really awesome working with Jake, and the energy and excitement that he has about the whole Kaisei project was palpable even a year ago at San Diego when we first started chatting about this. And it was actually crazy the speed with which the whole thing came together. And yet there's also a lot of trust. There is a lot of just like going with the flow and like finding what makes this universe so awesome as we go. And that has been really, really exciting. That's not to say that Jake doesn't have this whole plan, because he does. And it's exciting to like come into that where, Ethan and I, coming from indie space, we have to do that. It's a lot of work, but Jake is so stoked and a great idea. And where he's like got like the big sort of like boxes to fill in as the universe goes along has been super, super exciting. And when he told us the vague idea of what he wanted from what would eventually become the Dead Zone, we were like, sign us the fuck up. That's awesome.
Yeah, totally. Not to be outdone, we're talking about you guys kind of helping to develop an entire arm of the Godzilla interconnected IDW universe. But you're also doing another kind of like true to form, I think, back to your roots, Kill Your Darlings-esque indie darling over on at Boom Studios. Blink and you'll miss it.
Right.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about that and where that's coming from before we get to like the kind of big sexy hook of
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I mean, no, definitely. Blink and You'll Miss It is we've had like several independent projects that have been on the boil for quite a while. Those things, take a really long time to get off of the ground. Like the license stuff, like because there are such big publishing pushes behind them and everything. Like those can get up and running at the snap of a finger. But like the indie stuff is like there are so many different stages it has to go through before anyone even sees that you've been working on anything. And so like this in particular has been a very, very long process, but the people at Boom have been so cool and so great, and they helped us sort of take some of our wildest ideas and craft it into what Blink and You'll Miss It has become, which is something weirder than I think we've ever done. Something that like I think people who enjoyed Kill Your Darlings and enjoyed how sort of genre bendy it was and found it surprising, I think people will find a lot to like here. It's, as we've sort of started describing it, as like a dreamlike romance about a girl who is slipping backward through time and having to relive her life in reverse and maybe change some things along the way. And it's this is very personal for us in the same way that Kill Your Darlings was. There's a lot that we have been wanting to say over the past year or so since Kill Your Darlings, and there's a lot of us in here, to be sure, but there's also like a lot of like weird monsters and stuff, if that's all you're showing up for.
Oh, sure, why the hell not? Yeah, that's always a good help when it comes to comics. Like, it's going to be this like introspective drama about like getting to know who you really were, and maybe right some wrongs the way that we kind of retroactively do in our own brains, but also how about some monsters too?
Yeah, like, you gotta have a monster.
Yeah,
big thing with wings.
Hey, why not?
Yeah.
Who's your artist collaborator with this project?
Yeah. We got Keith Browning on, who is also a pretty fresh name in the space. Keith's been killing it for a long time, doing a lot of like commissions and stuff, and doing various bits and pieces. But like Keith's very new to doing like a full book, and so like this has been a really exciting thing for us because Keith's going to be getting exposed to a much larger audience than before, and Keith is just a genius. Keith is absolutely incredible, and his style is something that really contributes to how wistful and emotional the book is, while also like keeping the corners shadowy and spooky and mysterious. And he can really do it all.
That's awesome. It's a gorgeous looking book. I'm looking forward to seeing the first issue. When does that book drop?
Here's the crazy thing. It's crazy. Both are on FOC June 30th. Both will drop
big day.
August 6th. You want your big kaiju monsters? Come check out Godzilla Escape the Dead Zone. You want your weird introspective thing, but also with monsters? Come check out Blink and You'll Miss It. Both on shelves at the same time. Hey, why not both? I say. I think that'd be a good time.
Yeah, yeah, you're gonna get monsters either way.
That's
but
true.
if you want to get a little teary eyed, or you just want to see some people punching, we're serving it up for you.
Yeah. I forgot to shout out Pablo Tunica is doing the Dead Zone issue.
Oh my God,
or series.
And,
good looking stuff.
Pablo, we cannot gush enough about Pablo's work. Like we always talk about that sweet spot of comics cartooning where it's like there's realism to the rendering, but it's also loose and expressive enough that you really get invested in the emotionality of the characters. And Pablo's just like Pablo's character design, the way that Pablo expresses these like little comedic moments that are in the book, and of course just monsters smashing against each other. Like I don't think there's anyone better for the job than Pablo. He's absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
Pablo makes us look so good. I mentioned with the ferocity with which we've had to like pull it all together, at least like relatively for us. We're still getting used to coming up with a whole book in a year's time. But Pablo makes it seem like we have like developed this world over decades. Like it feels so
Right.
lived in, it feels so realized. And yeah, seeing those first few like even test sketches of various characters and places that Pablo did for us, it was immediately apparent like, oh, he's going to like absolutely crush this book.
100%.
And he does. I can't wait for people to see it.
Yeah. And then and this is I think what started this whole thing, although we definitely should have been chatting earlier about the Godzilla stuff. You got a Marvel book coming up soon in September,
Yeah.
which is awesome. That would be awesome in and of itself. You know, it'd be like great to have you guys finally, you know, have your stamp on Sleepwalker or Darkhawk. But how about for a change of pace, you guys talk about the effing Green Goblin?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
This Lieber Mayo cover, by the way. Holy crap.
Dude, I mean, getting a Lieber Mayo cover, yeah, one of the most surreal moments of our career, and working with Jan Basil Dua as well on the art, who is, you know, has done so much incredible stuff, you know, even on Miles Morales with Brian Michael Bendis, like just incredible legacy creators. And yeah, touching the Green Goblin's world, Spider-Man's world in any way, truly like the most surreal thing in our lives up until that point. I think like that email rolling in of like, hey, do you guys have thoughts on the Green Goblin? Is like the Green Goblin's all I've been thinking about, I think, since I was 11. Like, yes,
I'm very similarly haunted by the Green Goblin in the way that the Green Goblin is haunted by the Green Goblin in my head all the time.
I look in the mirror, he's right there with me. Yeah.
Yes. That was just an email came in and you guys were like, yeah.
I mean, we've been knocking on Marvel's door for a long time. We're like, hey guys,
as long as we've had anything to offer them, we've been offering it.
You guys want to take a look at any of this? And as anybody would, of course we're screaming outside their gate, but yeah, they just rolled up and were kind enough to offer us this, and like it really was, you know, because there's so much about it that's incredible, like it being Norman, it being a part of Spider-Man's world, it being like it's a story that's set in the Silver Age, so it's like we're going back and like, you know, establishing some new canon to Norman's history, which is crazy, but it's also part of this wider event, Bring on the Bad Guys, which is being spearheaded by Mark Guggenheim, and so we've got a Mark Guggenheim backup in our issue, and it's just like every detail of it is, it's such an honor.
Yeah. That's dropping, I think, in July, right? Like really soon. This is coming out like I think July 2 is
July 2nd. Yeah. Coming up before you know it.
Yeah, how long have you guys been sitting on this? How long did it take to develop your contribution to Bring on the Bad Guys?
It's been a bit, but like I
months.
said, I mean these things come together quicker. It was kind of astonishing to see how quickly it would come together. We're very used to the long lead times, but we wrote this thing and then so quickly we were seeing, like panels of Norman Osborn doing what we told him to, and that's just like, it being that quick added to how dreamlike it was. Where it was just like, oh my god, we did something to the Marvel universe, but we touched it. And
I love the thumbprint. Like
yes.
That is definitely I've touched the sun a little bit in terms of being able to say pages come in and I go, oh no, I told them to do that and now it's here, but that makes it real. And did I screw up? Like, should I have maybe been more careful about what I said?
I should have done another pass. God damn it. Yeah.
I did like 20 passes on this thing. I couldn't do any more, but now that I see it, I have 100 more ideas.
And being so brilliantly rendered too, Matteo De La Fonte is on it, who is great stuff, like a more realistic art style than we've had on a lot of our stuff so far. And so I mean, this is a horror issue, like for anybody who like hasn't seen the preview pages and stuff, like we really wanted to do the Green Goblin at his scariest. We wanted him to be, like a slasher, like what's it like if this guy's outside your window? And Mateo is so good at capturing those moments where you see the Goblin's silhouette as a shadow, on the wall, and it's brilliant. And it really, really, really is incredible to work with these talents who we were so grateful that Marvel paired us up with.
Yeah. I think this has got to be your most prolific year yet right now. Has been just like the fact that you've got a toe in every ocean at this point. Right? Like you're doing an independent darling that is with Boom Studios that's more, dramatically focused. You've got your interconnected universe, but from a completely non-Big Two franchise that is also just at its infancy. Like this is the beginning of the whole Kai area. And then you're also like, oh, and I think I'll also help to contribute to the original origins of Norman Osborn as the Green Goblin. Like this is fantastic. Yeah, I mean, we talked about like the surreal aspect to it, but
yeah.
Since I'm going to see you gentlemen in San Diego, I have to assume that you'll be less available than ever. Because of how many meetings and dinners and lunches and conversations you'll be embroiled in at this point.
Unless we've burned all our bridges already.
Well, that's the thing. If all three of them are total garbage,
we may have ruined not only the Green Goblin but Spider-Man.
Then we can go see. Then we can watch Fantastic Four unimpeded.
In peace, with maybe people will be protesting us outside or whatever we added to the canon. Well, you guys will have to let us know. I mean, Griffin, stacked year. But it's been in the works forever. It's funny that this stuff is
it feels like it's all happening in 2025, but it's like I'm sure
it's hilarious that it's all landing at the same time, and some of it literally on the same day. Because
Well, and there's been a couple of other things in the mix as well that we weren't sure if those would land at the same time. For a while, it really looked like they were going to. And then, of course, the way that comics happen, we've moved some stuff around. But there is a very good chance there's even another one on the calendar in the next month or so that we cannot talk about. But all that to say, yes, it's been a very busy year, but it's been so exhilarating because it's been the exact opposite as when we were making Kill Your Darlings, which was just me and Ethan in a vacuum for years, completely by ourselves for a good chunk of time, without a publisher, without an artist. I don't know, let's write this thing and figure it out. And that took a long time to do. And now it's the exact opposite. Now it's holy shit, everything is coming together immediately. Let's write 5 books in a year. And it has pushed us into a territory that has been, equal parts, sort of daunting and exhilarating, because now we get to just totally lean into our instincts, both in terms of with each other and on our own stuff, and also with some of these characters and worlds that we are lucky enough to explore in like Godzilla and the Marvel Universe and such. So it's crazy.
Yeah. Well, it's I hesitate to ask if there's anything else on the horizon that you guys want to talk about, because I feel like 3 or 4 more things are going to pop up. But for now, what do you? I guess we gotta say, check out Bring On the Bad Guys Green Goblin #1. That's coming out the most recent. That's July 2nd.
That's right.
Then and then in August you got 2 original books from IDW and Boom Studios dropping.
Yes.
And people should pre-order those by next week, I believe, right? Like it's
the 30th. June 30th is FOC on Godzilla Escape the Dead Zone #1. Blink and you miss it #1. Check back in about a month and a half later on August 6th. When both
and you can follow us through the end of the year on those books, and we may have another surprise one popping up before we're out of 2025, and we found out recently that there's a big thing maybe launching right at the start of 2026. So there's a whole slate, there's a roadmap.
Nice.
There's plenty going around. So you won't be able to spit without hitting us. It's gonna be, frankly, it'll be obnoxious.
That's fantastic.
Also,
I look forward to it.
Stop spitting in comic book shops is also
please.
Come on. It doesn't have to be a part of the pre-order process.
No, they're gonna have to introduce the spittoon to comic book stores in old-timey saloons. It'd be great.
All right, I'm in.
Well, gents, it was great to have you. Thank you so much for being here. We do appreciate it, of course.
Thank you so much, man.
Yeah, but check out those books, and I'll be looking forward to reading more of your careers with great interest. So
thanks, man. Great chatting with you. Looking forward to seeing you in San Diego.
You too, guys. Thanks so much.
Absolutely. See you later.
Later. And there you have it. Ethan Parker and Griffin Sheridan dropping by to chat about their books, and we're very happy for both of them. I remember when they were back in the day referred to as the Supple Boys. It was an odd moniker, but it was one that they owned quite well. That was when they were on the Stegcast. I believe they're still technically part of it, but it's it's been a while.
The idea that is not true at all.
I'm just making up lore for these guys, but they're really nice guys. I really value their friendship, and I'm glad that they were able to pop in and chat about their books. So yeah, a bunch of books to get back to on this comic book review show. That's right. Well, I will very briefly discuss Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #9 from IDW. Right. I talked about it briefly on the last episode, and it was I can now speak with impunity. It's Jason Aaron, Juan Ferreira. It's just such a solid book, like such a solid series, and Jason has such a Jason Aaron has such a very distinctly specific plan, or at least he's roadmap, it seems, for this world. Like he's kind of like he could. I mean, it's Jason Aaron. He most recently put Batman in space and had to fight like alien warlords. He could do anything with this, seemingly, and with this, it's like, let's just talk about these 4 characters. Let's take these 4 brothers and what makes them distinct, what makes them unique, but not in a kind of like reimagining or a reintroduction, but in a new place in their lives. These 4 characters, these 4 brothers have had their lives destroyed / rebuilt. Like they've each lived on their own and found success. They don't necessarily want to be together. And yet we're seeing this journey where, we, the audience, are the only ones who want to see these guys together. And perhaps the dead spirit of Splinter, who is starting to creep into their craws. And it's like fun because I get the feeling that Jason Aaron is a fan of the movie. And when I say movie, I mean the one from 1990, because the lesson of that like Splinter teases at the beginning of that movie is that like the journey you're on isn't about like twirling your nunchuck on one finger. That is a benefit, but it's about like this like oneness and higher state of being. And it's only when they ignore or throw away the familiar and they embrace their minds that they are able to communicate with Splinter again. And it's like, this is a kind of thing in this book where, Donatello is the most kind of broken and has been communicating seemingly with Splinter via a dead rat, and much to the chagrin and frustration of his brothers. And but then suddenly the rat starts talking to other members of the Yoshi clan. And it's just interesting to watch them each like kind of all these dominoes fall, and then hopefully get us to a place where it's like, okay, and then these 4 turtles are gonna kick butt, right? Okay. We also get some more in-depth information about like their main bad guy and their antagonist to the story, and I'm just excited about the direction and future of this series. Juan Ferreira's art is also, as per usual, impeccable and awesomely rendered action sequences and quiet contemplative moments, but also you're gonna watch these characters like yelling at each other, and that's kind of fun to see as well. So good stuff.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I'm not 100% sure my mic is working.
Oh, I'm sorry. I changed it when I was doing the thing. Yeah, I'm sorry. That's my fault. There, you're back. I changed it when I was doing the interview. I was like, oh, I shouldn't have like the sound.
Oh.
What if Tiffany drinks too much seltzer and like burps in the studio, and then everyone will hear it? So I turned off your microphone, but now it's back.
This is better, everybody. Better one.
I think so.
Better two.
I think so. But yeah. So thankfully I was talking most of the time anyway.
I know, and I was trying to solve it off.
Off camera.
Yeah, like a professional.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, where do you want to go from here, Tiffany?
I don't know.
I guess we need to talk about Trinity because I've been the most excited to talk to you about it.
Yeah.
I remember seeing the preview.
Yeah, I don't know why you're excited.
A while back, and I was like, oh my God, Tiffany's going to love this. Trinity, daughter of Wonder Woman from Tom King and Belen Ortega. If you are not familiar with the Wonder Woman series from Tom, then you should definitely at least read the backups by Belen Ortega and King. Those have been featured in every or almost all of the main in continuity Wonder Woman series, and they are a lot more lighthearted. They also feature typically not just Lizzie, but also Damian and John, and this series is kind of like a spin-off of that. This is, of course, born from Ortega's desire to draw corgis and Tom's happiness to oblige. But, of course, it has to be weird and dark and sad. So we get that interwoven with the youthful, lighthearted exuberance of this relatively new entry point to the DC universe in the form of Trinity. The story is basically just 3 different timeline versions of Trinity all team up to recover their super pals who have been transformed into corgis and unleashed on the DC.
That's what ends up happening.
timeline.
That's not why they went back to like make little Lizzie feel better.
Yeah, no. Teenage Lizzie goes back to young Lizzie to make her feel better because Lizzie doesn't know her father because
she remembers this
is dead.
moment.
Exactly. So then they have no idea what to do, so they go to like slightly more adult Lizzie, and chaos ensues. And so now we're watching 3 versions of the same character chase after corgis throughout not the multiverse, but rather DC's continuity.
So I'm sorry, you're just gonna bury the lead on
the fact the book opens with Pariah in a 9-panel grid, bitching and moaning and crying and whinging. And I thought you'd love this because, like, Joshua Williamson likes Pariah.
Yeah, which makes me question everything I know about Joshua Williamson.
And he's like, I think Pariah could be a cool villain or at least a very interesting character. And he's like the main antagonist of Dark Crisis.
We're all wrong sometimes.
But Tom King clearly thinks Pariah is a big, stupid crybaby. And he has no dignity in this series. I thought you might like that.
But I don't want to see him. Like, I just don't want to see him.
But he's doing the thing. He is not just being Pariah. He's being your version of Pariah.
Yeah.
He's 100% your version.
Maybe Tom was watching.
Maybe Tom's a fan. I don't know. Of your frustrations with Pariah. If that were the case, though, I think there'd be like a smart alecky, red-haired girl with glasses running from some carnage in there somewhere. But regardless, it's so this story is it's mostly just set up, but we see that one of the corgis.
By the way, that like this open, I was like, here we go. I'm excited. I opened it up. I was like,
come on.
I was immediately grumpy.
Yeah, it'd be like if like the next Marvel book we do is just a 9-panel grid opening of Red Ghost.
Ah, great. Yeah, let's do that. I mean,
I'm very hopeful that John Malkovich is Red Ghost in that Fantastic Four movie.
Could you not? Why? Why?
I think he'd be amazing.
I don't even have words.
Yeah.
Why?
So anyway, it's cute. It's fun. Ortega's art is great.
There are elements of fun.
Everything past Pariah. Everything is so cute. There's Ortega's rendering of young Lizzie is my favorite version of the character because of how expressive she is. There's a moment where she's talking to Pariah and she doesn't understand what that word is, so she thinks he's saying piranha.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's Pariah. And she's like, piranha.
Yeah.
Piranha. Like, it's just, she's so cute and so funny and so sassy. And like, I love this character, particularly the young version. I'm not sold on every time period version of Trinity, particularly the one that we were first introduced to, which is like main Trinity, I guess.
Yeah.
But like junior Trinity, like baby Trinity is just great. Wonder Robin Trinity, she's so great.
Yeah, sure. And she gets to deal with this dip.
This idiot.
This total moron.
Yeah. Oh, and also
it's not like he learns anything. It's not like he's like, maybe I should learn something from this child.
Why would he do that? He's a dipshit.
No, I'm a big dumbass.
Yeah. I should also point out that they also have a secret plan, which is to save Steve from death.
Yes.
Which of course can't succeed. So
did anyone else enjoy the moment of Superman with the super quirky? I mean, Superman's like being pulled into the crisis essentially. And he's like, "Please help me!" And the quirky.
Oh, that was Ultraman. He's like,
"Oh, it was Ultraman."
Yeah, it's Ultraman. No, the crime syndicate Earth is being destroyed, so he's just like, "No, yeah, please help me!" And he's just like, "Arf."
And he puts his paw out, and then she says, "Treat."
Yeah, she just says "treat" like as something else.
Yeah, she's talking about something entirely different, and so he goes running, and it's so just great. The best.
Yeah,
it's so cute. Yeah, you're right. It is. I just was so like. This book was not what I thought it was going to be. Like, no. I was just so not prepared for Pariah. Like, I feel like you need to warn me about these things.
No, I thought I wanted to see your reaction to it. I didn't even know you were going to read it, honestly.
You told me to. I was like, okay, I purchased this.
Well, you got a good book. There's some, I'm telling you, not only is Belen Ortega's art fantastic, but like the really fun thing is just how different Tom's style is for this book.
Yeah.
Like, he actually manages to make not just the three Trinities sound like individual characters, but they don't sound like Rorschach. Like, they sound like genuine, like joyful characters. I've tried to talk to him about this in some way that doesn't sound insulting, where I'm like, I'm just amazed that you're able to do that. You know, not everyone sounds like Slam Bradley. Because everyone usually does. And it's like, but that's because he's usually writing a gritty noir story about like miserable, hard drinking bastards.
Right.
So it's like, oh, here's three versions of the same happy girl. And he's like, no, I know how to do that too.
Yeah, no, I really enjoy the three Trinities, the curse moment.
Yeah.
Where they
my God.
Do it, and then she
immediately is like, don't tell anybody.
Well,
don't tell mom.
She copies them. She parrots them. She's like, I got to do that. And then Amelia's like, oh no. Yeah, it's cute. They all have their own priorities. It's fun to. What we're doing here is we're distilling her history. We're trying to give her a fuller background of lore moving forward, so that she can maybe one day hang out with larger characters and have it not be like, who the hell are you?
Well, and right now no version of these three time periods of Trinity have actually existed in current continuity.
That's true.
Like, Wonder Woman is still pregnant in the present. Or whatever you call it. No, the baby's born. I'm sorry. Because the baby, she was never pregnant. She made her out of clay. Which I had a different theory on. I mentioned it on the show when we interviewed him.
Yeah.
Because I was like, the clay origin for Wonder Woman. I think it's a great origin if you want it to be rooted in mythology, which the character is.
Right.
But you know, in the New 52, you could tell Brian Azzarello's like, it's stupid. That's like a bedtime story. And so they changed it, made her the daughter of a god. And it's like, yeah, I get that. And I get the impulse. And I totally get an audience that loves that origin for Wonder Woman. And I also get DC's desire to maybe not do the clay origin, or to maybe just be like, you know what? Like, the clay origin is like, it was canon for as long as Hippolyta could lie to her daughter. And then you find out, no, actually, she was never clay. And I thought that
a big bird brought you, because I don't want to have that conversation today.
Yes. And I thought, like, maybe this whole like Trinity origin, because like there's a character who's blonde, who's from Themyscira, who starts the war that launches the Wonder Woman book entirely, and she hasn't done or seen or experienced. She's not been part of the book.
Right.
Like, she starts off like the Amazonian War or whatever, which ends just as quickly, and then we don't see her ever again.
Maybe she'll become Wonder Woman, because it's daughter of Wonder Woman, not anyone can be Wonder Woman, right?
Well, that's true. Yeah. Well, that's my theory, is that like Trinity's actually that character's daughter.
I know, and I'm saying, what if she ends up taking up the mantle of Wonder Woman?
That's what I said to Tom. I was like, because I was like, we see Diana use the thread and make Trinity, but we only see her as clay. And I would like to imagine that, like, because Tom writes really like morose stuff, maybe she even makes like a clay baby, but it's just clay and it doesn't work. Or that's the story she told Trinity as a child, that like, that's where you came from, that's why you don't look anything like me. And it's like, no. And so I asked him, and he was like, no. What you saw in the comic is her origin. She is the blending together of like Steve Trevor's thread of life and Diana. Like, no, she is 100% that. There's no subterfuge. That character will return, but she is not in any way secretly Trinity's actual biological mother.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, okay. I guess that's all right too.
You're like, I just want to complicate things.
I always expect them to be complicated.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah. So Steve's involved, and I'm like, what? Okay. Uh oh. Everything's gonna get complicated. It looks like they were teasing that maybe Death in the Family's next. There's a teaser for the next cover.
Oh.
I'm down.
Where is that? I didn't see it.
Yeah. I thought I saw it too. I don't know.
Maybe you saw it somewhere else.
Solicits.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You look at lots of things.
Yeah, I do. I look at a lot of comic
You
books.
look at lots of stuff.
I do. Anyway, I like it. I thought it was good.
Yeah, it was. Other than a large chunk of the book, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's right.
Because of a specific character I hate, not because the book was bad.
No, that's true.
But because I just hate them.
Yeah,
I don't want to see his face, and I don't want him in my comics.
That's fair. I understand entirely. Hey, it's time again for us to talk about a book no one's reading.
People are reading this book. It's Ultimate Black Panther number 17, written by Brian Hill with art by Stefano Caselli. Oh boy, things are heating up.
Things are happening now.
Black Panther. I mean, they've been happening.
They've been happening, and it's a really well written book.
Things have been happening.
Don't ask Reddit, but yes.
Yeah, whatever. Listen, Reddit, unless you're giving me like advice on what item to buy, I don't want to hear about it. Yeah, so this is like, listen, T'Challa and Aurora were off having their adventure, right? Yes. Which meant that Killmonger was left with Okoye. The question was like, what was going to happen?
Yeah,
here, right?
Are we going to get some wife swapping?
And that's what we're going to talk. Like, that's what this story is about. It's like, what's going on with them? Like,
right?
What's going
because
on
like
back
we
in
know
Wakanda?
that like Storm is more interesting than Okoye, and Killmonger is destined for death. So like, what are we going to do about it?
Excuse me, I don't think she's more interesting. Right. I like Okoye.
This version of her is much more exciting.
She's great. So anyway, like Killmonger like goes down and sees all the Black Panther armor and like tries on one of the helmets. And she's like, how does it like, she's like, how does it feel? And he's like, oh, sorry, I'll take it off. She's like, no, it's cool. Like, how does it feel? And he's just like, he doesn't like it. And she's just like, well, you're too free for this. Like, And so they have like a back and forth like conversation. It's like a dangerous conversation the two of them have about like what his thoughts are and all that stuff, right? And they end up they deal with the machine men.
Oh, okay.
And they do so like essentially they meet up with Shuri because they're like, hey, this thing's going on, and Okoye is like, what do you think? Like, what are your thoughts? And he's like, oh, like really? She's like, T'Challa put you in this position, so yeah, like that's kind of how it goes. Like, you're not just gonna stand here and judge us. What are your thoughts on this? And he's like, I guess we should go help. And so they do, right? And they can't bring the vibranium because it's like tainted, right? So the Dora Milaje suit up. So does Okoye and Killmonger, and they go in there, and like Okoye is like deadly.
Yeah,
just as she should be. She's deadly and she's vicious. But at the end of the day, they save the Americans, and it's like, hooray, we did it. Wasn't that great? Good for us, right? And everyone's like really excited. The Dora Milaje like rally under Killmonger, right? And then back in the throne room, Okoye is like, I know you like love your freedom and all that, but like you've got more vision than just running around the field with Aurora. Right. Is what I'm saying. And at the end of the day, she essentially is just like, I support you and the way in which you think, and like I'm way into this.
Right.
So she is the one that's like
making the moves.
She is making the moves on Killmonger.
The moves, yeah.
Yeah, and Killmonger's kind of like, okay.
I mean,
I'm not gonna say no.
I permit this.
This is fine, but they don't get a chance because the Voodoo Con show up, who were like
what are you doing?
Yeah, they are a little bit like that, but it turns out they have been in the background doing what we all thought they might be in the background doing, but like Hill did a really good job of like masking it, and making it seem
or deflecting.
Yeah, and so it's like, oh no, they secretly are trying to change the course of Wakandan history and support vibranium. They understand what's in the vibranium, and there's like this prophecy that they're following, in which like the child of light has to be born. And they look at Okoye and they're like, and you're not the one to do it.
Oh no, they're like, we need a storm.
And I'm like,
who? So why don't you take your new boy toy and get out?
No, they basically are like, why don't you both get out of here? Like, we are over it. But Amon shows up, the Sorcerer Supreme, and is like, I saw this all in a dream, and so I'm here to help. Helps. And then Killmonger takes the throne, man, and it is dope.
Yeah, that is dope.
He's just like, let everybody in Wakanda know there's a new king around here.
What?
And I'm like, okay. Took him a second, took him a little time to get there, but Killmonger naturally has been working towards this with conversations he's had with T'Challa. You know what I mean? Like, he was the one that was like, we should leave, and I appreciate that, because I think what that shows is that like Killmonger was like,
he wasn't.
If we don't,
I'll take it.
I'll stay forever, kind of thing, or I'll want to stay forever.
Love that.
So this was a great issue. Again, like, you didn't get any T'Challa in this, but it is completely all about Black Panther.
Yeah,
just such a great issue. I freaking loved how tense this was, and I did not necessarily see Okoye doing this,
being the betrayer.
But as it's happening, I'm like, I get it. She's been like really like, leaning into T'Challa to try to take control to do this, and he's not doing it.
Right.
And so
here we are.
Yeah.
Cool. Mm-hmm. Well, staying in the Ultimate Universe, you want to tell us more about Ultimate X-Men?
Sure. Ultimate X-Men, written and drawn by Peach Momoko.
Remarkable, by the way, just in terms of Black Panther and Ultimate X-Men, how the creative teams, I mean, Peach is doing all of it, but like, it's consistent. I think
we've had a couple of guest artists on Black Panther a few times.
I think it's been really rare.
It's been very rare. It definitely
rarer than Spider-Man.
It's been very rare for sure. Peach Momoko has not missed an issue. I know Brent Hill's clearly not missed an issue. It's all his story. Freaking amazing.
Yeah.
That book didn't. The one you're looking at right now didn't come out this week. That's just in my downloads. Don't worry about that.
Cool.
This is like a little bit of a let's go back.
Okay.
Because it's like, how did we get, like, we're starting to like fill in the, like, how did Nico end up in like working within the Children of the Atom? Like, how did she get to infiltrate that? And so we get a little bit of fill in background on that. I appreciate that. Like, Peach is kind of changing up her style of storytelling a little bit for this issue. And we also get like simultaneously what is currently happening with her, and how like her infiltration doesn't go quite as planned. And she is not left in the best position. In fact, I would say it's a bad position that she is in. But we've set up a couple of like connections here where it's like, well, maybe this will help out, maybe this will be the thing that saves her. But she does get at least eyes on Hisako. She sees her. And so I'm like, okay, all right, we're putting this together. But Hisako doesn't seem quite happy about all of it. Like, she doesn't talk to her. Yeah. But like, her body language is a person who is potentially miserable or just in the worst
uncomfortable
place. Yeah, for sure. It's just great. It's a really good issue. But the fact is, it's like, if you want to read this book
so fast,
just read it as a trade. Go grab the trades, catch up.
Yep. And if you want to support the book, if you're a pre-orderer, just pre-order the trades.
Yeah, trust me, this is just a stellar story. And Peach clearly has like a
real
trajectory. Plan. She's got like, we are going somewhere with this. But I don't know how many more of these issues. Like, are we going to 20? I have no idea.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll take as much as possible.
I'm sure she would be happy to deliver as much as possible as well.
She's just a phenomenal talent.
Yeah. We both read One World Under Doom #5 from Ryan North and company. I believe it was RB Silva.
Yes.
And it is. There we go. So yeah. Okay. So Doom and the heroes defeat Dormammu, and the heroes still can't believe that Doom has
but some of them
reached his foothold.
We're starting to see a little like breakdown, like
Thor
is like a 50-50 between folks who kind of believe it and folks who kind of don't believe it.
We're getting a civil war over Doom. No, basically Thor shows up and he spends three pages explaining that, like, maybe people need to just shut up and get used to it. And then Maria Hill shows up and you're like, what?
Yeah.
I was also really excited because maybe this means we're going to see the return of S.H.I.E.L.D. because I'm sick of like them saying S.H.I.E.L.D. was destroyed. I'm like, I don't even remember the issue that S.H.I.E.L.D. was destroyed.
Here's what was frustrating for me, which I was just like, okay, we finally got to a place where everybody's like kind of on board, where it's like, because like Thor's like, Odin runs all of all of Asgard, and and like you're acting like this is not the way things should run.
Yeah,
but
we
like
are.
it's fine for me.
It's not fine for you, but we're also not qualified or vested interest in doing anything.
None of them
they don't say
that.
any.
None of them admit that at all. So like they're all just like, no, it is.
Yeah, they're just like, sure. Well, because I'm not gonna like roll into Asgard and like try and institute and try and force a constitutional democracy.
Right.
We probably should. That's kind of your department there, Thor.
Thor's like, but I am in charge.
Right.
And he's like, and it does work.
And it does work. Does it though?
I mean, yeah.
Does it though? Because you've died like 5 times in 10 years.
I'd say yes. I mean, I guess the difference is like, yes, Earth has a lot of stuff going on, but there aren't like active, like constant attacks by like giants and things.
Right.
So it's like it's a little different.
Yeah.
The structure of things.
I don't know. I feel like we get attacked by giants all the time.
It feels like also on Asgard, it's just only like one. It's like one culture. It's like one.
Yeah, exactly. You got one, you got one big pot, and it's all a bunch of whiteys. Like
as opposed to like on Earth, where it's like it's a little different.
A lot of different cultures, a lot of different like,
Thor.
Yeah, a lot of different histories. You all have one shared history, one
what
shared
I think
experience.
Here's what I think is legitimately interesting. Okay. And I don't know if North is going to lean into this, but by having Maria Hill show up,
yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
How is what Nick Fury was doing any different than what Doom is doing?
Right.
In a way?
Right. Well, because
he's like, no, but it's different because I'm a super cop.
No, Fury did. Yeah, but Fury did it behind the scenes. Like Fury
That's what
was
I'm
very.
saying. Like,
yeah.
But Doom's like, and I'm doing similar things, but I'm doing it in front of the people so that they can see what is happening.
Well, and I paid off any world leaders out in the open to just acquiesce and like, look, your leaders are for sale. I mean, which is 100% true. Just look it up. You know, just Google net neutrality and how much your senator was paid,
right,
to say no.
Right. I just think it's interesting. Like, if they do that, is he going to lean into the fact that it's like, what do you think Shield was doing?
Right. Oh, I'm sure it'll be a throwaway line, but I don't think I can't imagine North shying away from that concept. But I mean, you know, it's 5 issues of the heroes all complaining and arguing with each other, but like. This was a fun issue, and I was happy to get it. It was a great issue. It was great to watch the heroes all work together and solve and solve an actual problem. It was also an interesting debate. I would certainly rather see these heroes do this than kill Goliath and have like a terrible Mark Millar event that like also will be the most popular Marvel event ever written. Like. Civil War, just talk to each other for 2 seconds. And they're like, no,
I will not.
These characters have spent 5 issues talking to each other.
They're like, yeah, okay, let's do it up.
Yeah. And I'm like, that's fair. I don't think Thor needed 3 freaking pages.
Whatever. We got a really dope image of Odin.
We got a good image of Odin. I don't even think he's alive anymore.
This is gorgeous.
But
such a good look.
But good stuff. I mean, like overall, this felt like a Marvel comic. And it felt like a modern Marvel comic.
Yeah.
Like it felt like a good blend of what I should expect from a big time Marvel event, and also one made in 2025. And I'm like, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I really like the depiction of Maria Hill. I don't know
Me
why.
too.
I was a big fan of like her pose.
Yeah.
The fact that she was wearing a Shield uniform,
it's an old school one.
Yeah, I'm like, yes, bring back Shield. But yeah, it was a fun issue, though. No new ground. But still, I'm down. I also loved to see the Dormammu fight. It was great.
Yes.
I guess I was like, man, if Dormammu, now we can't do a Dormammu invades story.
Sure we can. Remember the rule is that it's like as long as Doom is he tethered it to
charge. Yeah.
That like then
which is also
Dormammu
enough
can't go back
to disqualify, but still, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you mean as long as you're in charge, Dormammu can't attack anymore? F you.
Yeah.
That's fun. It also just has a sword of Damocles over everybody. They're like, I guess we should keep letting Doom be in charge because Lord knows.
I mean, like all you need is Steven to come back, but he's too busy being in a book. I'm not reading anymore. So.
Oh yeah, big time. Yeah. Well, it'll be over soon enough.
Sure.
I read Batman Dark Patterns number 7.
By the way, I think is interesting that it's like simultaneously there's also the Thunderbolts New Avengers book and Clea's over there, and I'm like, there's literally like a Dormammu issue. Like your uncle.
Yeah.
Girl, where are you?
Yeah. I don't know if like maybe North couldn't use her.
I'm gonna guess that. But it's like it just seems very convenient.
Yeah. I didn't read New Avengers, by the way.
Oh, okay.
I looked at it and went, no. But maybe.
But it said you read Batman Dark Patterns.
But how could I not? This is a great Batman book.
How do you say that word?
Oh, pareidolia.
Okay.
Or pareidolia. I'm not sure. I didn't look it up. But yeah, this is Hayden Sherman, Dan Waters. This is just a flawless Batman series. In this one, Batman's like, every story arc so far in this series has been launched by a fire, and pareidolia means seeing patterns when they're not really there, like seeing a face on Mars or in the moon. Like we see
in
patterns,
your potato chips,
right? But like seeing patterns where there aren't any,
right?
And he's like, I have to make sure, I have to dissuade myself of this and be a detective. I have to be smart about these things.
Yep.
So then we are taken to like another area of Gotham that is like super depressed, like a shantytown area of Gotham that's like really interestingly depicted, and there's a murder in there, and there's some Alfred action in there where like Alfred is reminded from Batman's musings of a history lesson from Gotham's past about like mob murders and stuff like that, and it helps Batman along. I'm like, this is the role of Alfred. Way to go. Great, gorgeous, huge swaths of scenery depicted by Sherman. Another, fantastic pages of panel compositions that are just like, not your typical fare from a mainstream comic book.
Right.
But still consistent Batman stuff.
Right.
Also, of course, it's a flashback book. So like, Gordon's in charge. Alfred's alive. Batman has a giant circular yellow emblem on his chest. I don't want to spoil anything. It's just Batman, like they find
who becomes a big building this time.
No one. Well, we only did the one story where there was that. But previously to that, there was no big building, but there is a big city. Like everything has a big corner of Gotham.
What is this? Is this going to be a new created villain in this, or is this going to be?
No, they imply that the Red Hood gang is at the core of all of it.
Interesting. Okay.
And that's interesting because you're also blending like kind of a concept from New 52 in with like pre-crisis or post-crisis continuity. And I'm like, that's cool. This is great. And also, for a second, I went, oh no, is everything going to lead to Joker? And I didn't feel cynical or unhappy about that. I was like, that would be kind of fun.
Well,
like there's this new character. He's he's like this like doctor. He's like lazy and weird, and they keep like bringing shit to him, and I'm like, so is he Joker in disguise, or is he just another villain?
Joker in disguise.
All I know is I love this, and it's great, and it makes it's very subtle and quiet, and doesn't overstay its welcome. It's just a welcome change or welcome addition every month. No notes. Please write more.
That's awesome. Note. This has nothing to do with reading anything today. It's just because I said the in disguise thing.
Yeah.
I saw something. It was a comment I read on a video, so I could say I read it because I did technically. Someone was talking about how their favorite character was like Optimus Prime.
Yes.
But they're like, in Japan, he's called Convoy.
Oh.
And I was like, that's a cool name.
That's a fun name too.
Right?
Yeah, I like
that's
that.
like him, like when like Steve Rogers gives up the mantle and becomes Nomad.
Yes.
That's like what should happen. Optimus Prime
Optimus should like give up the Matrix and become
he just becomes Convoy and he just wanders around.
Yeah, rolling in and kicking ass.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. I love
that. That one's free.
There you go, D-Dubs. Yeah. That's Skybound.
Skybound, whoever it is. Did they have it at one point?
Yes, they did. For the longest time too. So yeah.
Yeah, I just associate them with it.
I
like
know.
100%. Like I don't apparently I don't accept our new image overlords for Transformers.
No, I understand.
It just feels like they should be over there.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, like I feel like I don't know. I just in my head I have a specific library of IPs that IDW owns.
Yeah.
In perpetuity.
That's fair.
In perpetuity. Well, then I take it back. You can't have it.
I read Giant Size Amazing Spider-Man #1. This has a number of stories written by Kevin Smith, Al Ewing, Chip Zdarsky, and
is it supposed to be Rocket down there?
Yeah, it's Rocket down there.
Oh.
These are multiple stories. They're just Spider-Man stories. And they're fun. The first one, Spider-Man decides he needs an unstable molecule suit. And that's written by Kevin Smith, and it's cute and fun, and it works, and the art's really good. The next one's...
Who's the person in the hood?
Well... That's from the Al Ewing one. It's 6/16. It's June 16th at 6/16. And there's a lot of magic going on, and Spider-Man is lured to a place that Wynn draws him to.
Oh, man!
And there's an editor's note. He's like, I'm Wynn! And it's like, you read Gods, right? And I'm like, nope.
Yes!
Poor everybody.
What? No!
You missed out. But
you did miss out.
Yeah. So Wynn and Spider-Man have this interesting adventure where, like,
Spider-Man's like, I usually do this with Doc.
He doesn't say anything about it. He's just like, okay. Beautiful art in that story.
How does Wynn react to Spider-Man's wisecracking?
He's totally normal. He has no problem with Spider-Man whatsoever.
Good.
They don't pal around. They're not like,
He's
bros.
like, we're doing a job.
Yeah, they're doing a thing.
Okay.
And basically, like the timeline's getting attacked by a monster, and it creates holes in time. And Spider-Man's like, why am I here? Like Wynn's like, everything's chosen, everything does a job here. Like everything, you being here is important. And like it all starts in the like apartment where Hammond builds the Human Torch robot, because of course like that's the first superhero technically in the Marvel universe with Timely Comics. And we see like all these different holes in time, like the formation of the Fantastic Four, and like first appearances of characters like Rocket Raccoon and stuff. And so Spider-Man just webs all of them through time and pulls them all into that one location to help stop this big monster. So they all work together, like all these different pantheons or elements of Marvel's history, and then stop the monster.
Okay.
And then Wynn puts them all back and whammies their minds so they don't remember that happening.
Okay.
And Ms. Marvel's in there too.
Sure.
But it's really cool just to see all of that. And
I'm guessing Chip Zdarsky works with the Fantastic Four and Spider-Man. Chip
Zdarsky wrote a story. No.
Really?
Yeah, no, he invented a new character and had Spider-Man basically. The idea is that like there's a father-son team that are trying to develop a cancer treatment, but they're doing it using like time crystals or something, so that like we basically just like
reset the clock
on you. Yeah, exactly. So ultimately it ends up getting like tethered to the dad, so like the dad is in a time field, but the son can manipulate time, and he's got a super suit and he's super name, and every time he uses his powers it will open the bubble around his father and accelerate his like terminal cancer diagnosis. I'm like, no one will ever use this character again.
Right.
But it was like it was well written, and it was a fun story, and Spider-Man does some fun stuff. Looks good. It's fine.
Okay.
Overall, just the idea of doing this Amazing Spider-Man giant size issue was like fun and cool and cute. I was amazed at like the restraint of some of these people, like some of these creators. Like Al Ewing told a really nice like annual-esque Spider-Man story. Kevin Smith told like a pretty standard Spider-Man story.
I can't believe that.
Jay and Silent Bob are in it, of course, but they don't do anything.
Well, how would they be in it? They're in New Jersey.
Yeah, they were taking a city trip. Incidentally,
because I know Spidey doesn't like crossing the river.
Spider-Man goes to New Jersey in Chip Zdarsky's story.
What?
And someone says, "Whoa, Spider-Man, what are you doing in New Jersey?" And he says, "Oh, well, I had to get in on some of that pork roll, egg, and cheese that you guys are always having." And I'm like, Chip, Bubba, first of all, I appreciate the shout out, but we don't call it that up here.
No. Ted, I'm guessing though, like legally speaking, since it is a brand name,
he couldn't use Taylor.
He probably couldn't use it, but it's like for how far up he would be, he would definitely not call it.
But you know how I justified it? Pete wouldn't know.
Yeah.
He never comes to New Jersey.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, you know what? I love the idea that Pete called it the wrong thing.
He could have called it a Thek.
Yes. But that would have been confusing, and I'm sure Niccolo doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Oh, what a spread.
But yeah, exactly. But I was like, I'm like, no, you know what? I'm gonna make it work, because look, I'm
gonna do mental gymnastics.
I'm gonna win a no prize here. Pete wouldn't know, and he's heard of pork roll before, because like he probably has also swung across the river, where he'd be probably more closer to Monmouth, where they do call it that. So you know what?
Sure.
He's just, that's what they call it, right? Well, and it's like, I love the idea of Pete saying it wrong, or having like Kamala would correct him.
Yeah.
Though I don't know if she could eat it. Now that I'm thinking about it.
Right.
But yeah, it's great. It was a great issue. It was a great issue of Spider-Man. We're eating well right now in continuity Spider-Man stories.
Yeah,
so
listen.
Keep it up.
ComicPop as a whole will tell you that it is Taylor ham. It's not pork roll.
Yeah, we're not from down there.
Sorry, everyone from down there. I think what we can all agree on, though, is it's best served with salt, pepper, and ketchup. So
that's right.
Like,
you're gonna get it with
no matter what you're gonna call
it.
SPK it. We're gonna SPK it. So let's just find our commonalities there.
Yes. And finally, Absolute Bane is an absolute unit. You thought that Batman was big. Well, what about Bane? And I love Absolute Batman number 9. Nick Dragata, Scott Snyder. Look, what are you gonna do with Absolute Bane?
What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do, brother?
Whoa. You almost.
I almost
took yourself out
took
there,
myself
man.
out with my microphone.
That's how intense Bane is.
Absolute Bane. I mean, like, what are you gonna do? Have him be a tiny man in a big suit?
You could have just done something else.
I have no problem with Absolute Bane. He is gross.
No, he is very gross. But
that friggin' splash page, one of the best pages in this whole book, is the title page. The double page splash that shows you Bane's, like, it's not even.
Oh yes, I know what you mean.
Just his muscle.
Yeah, he is nasty. He's nasty.
I love it. I think it's great. He doesn't look normal. He doesn't look like a roided out dude. He looks like he's like sick. Like his muscles are like on muscles, but in a like really grotesque fashion. He's a horror character.
No, he is.
And I'm like, that's awesome.
And like he's got like pustules.
Yeah.
I don't like that word.
No.
And I was forced to say it. Thank you, Scott Snyder. You forced me to use the word pustules
twice
now.
Yeah. He's so gross, and I'm okay with it. I liked his like depiction. There was a funny moment. It's like, it's like from The Simpsons, where like two world leaders are like, yes, but we will be prosperous and it's gonna be great. And then like Bane's like, hey, no, it's not. I'm being paid to destabilize your nations. Which one of you is on board? And like one of them goes on board, and Bane's like, all right, let's do this. Just like this is what Bane does. He destabilizes regimes. Like he's a merc.
Yeah, I mean, why does he bother wearing pants?
Right. Like his pustules will cover
God,
any objectionable parts.
Stop with that.
Batman tears up all of Gotham trying to find Wayland because his best friend.
That was easily my favorite part, was like Pennyworth talking about how it's like
the hospitals.
It got a little ridiculous.
Yes.
And then it came back around, but then it got a little more ridiculous, where it's just like, he like attacked so many like mafia mob folks that like they ran out of ambulances, so they started using ride shares, and they ran out of those too. And and then one guy used like a rickshaw. I was like, what is happening right now?
What are you doing?
I get it. He hurt a lot of guys. That page, I hate it.
It's so
Is that the one you were thinking of?
That's the one I'm thinking of.
Oh no, I hate it.
The title page, Abomination.
Yeah,
so great.
I don't like it.
It's Akira. Like it's just
I know, I don't
gross.
Like it.
But I was like, that's what we're in for here. And I'm
There's
like,
a lot
that's
of
great.
veins.
Yeah.
There's a lot of veins.
Yeah,
it's fine. We all have
Bane.
them. Code vein.
Yeah.
Put a pumpkin on your head.
But Batman, Batman tries. So anyway,
Batman's taken out immediately.
Yeah. Well, he infiltrates Arkham with the help of his rowdy friends.
I love Pennyworth being like, I probably should have told him, and I'm like,
yes. What's the matter with you?
Am I supposed to like you?
No. Darkseid made our universe. I'm a jerk. That is my answer to the statement. It's I thought it was like engaging, fun. It's consistent. This feels the most true to form. This feels like the most like back to your roots, absolute Batman. Like
he's
of 9 issues.
Yeah, he's at like an 11 all the time. Except this Batman's a little like
unhinged. Well,
no. When he goes into Arkham, he's like a little like, and he calls for help.
Yeah.
Like, so this is a Batman like that has learned from his conversation with his friends.
Yes.
Which maybe wasn't the time.
No.
Folks.
Well,
maybe they should have just let him.
He sure needed them, and
yes.
but
we also got to check in with Selina, like in the past.
Yes.
And we're like okay. What we're doing is like Scott's like, don't forget she exists, and the two of them did definitely have a relationship, but also that like let's develop Croc's character a little bit so that we can be sad.
Yeah, so we can care that he's missing, because like we do, in as much as he's a member of the team, but like we had to wait for the Joe Chill issue or whatever to introduce their relationship a little better, and now we have this one where we can reaffirm it further. It's like, yeah, you know what?
Yeah,
it all works.
We're also setting up that like Batman has a tether to a Gordon, but it is Barbara Gordon, and that makes sense because Jim is like hanging out with Martha and trying to convince her to be mayor. I completely forgot about the fact that Dick Grayson is the rickshaw EMT.
Yep. I also thought it was weird.
Who says the thing from? Remember the F Batman from Titans?
Yes.
Yeah, he does it here too, basically. And I was
right.
like, that's like, that's the type of stuff for me where I'm just like, Scott, you don't need to do it. You're better than that. You're better than that, my friend. You don't need to put those things in there. And it like kind of just diminishes the rhythm for me a little bit. Like, I got it. We're good.
Yeah. The whole like the escalation of like the rickshaw from, like the ride share and thing, that reads the most like Scott pitching the book as opposed to like Scott writing the book. Like I've heard Scott tell me and break down books for me. That felt the most like I get the idea, and that's his pitch. It wasn't necessarily organic, the way that or it was organic. Maybe it was too organic.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's that's too fresh. I don't know if maybe you want to refine that a little bit, but one of the things I really appreciate about this book is, and I think Dragata's style helps in a big way to reinforce this idea. But this book feels loose. This always feels like a younger man is making it.
Oh no,
I
sure.
really appreciate just how it's. I've seen Scott swinging for the fences. I've seen him, go for broke with the DC universe, and what we get with that is Batman Who Laughs chucking planets at Perpetua, which is just I get it. I get the impulse, but also that still felt not earned, but it felt like it was all part of the same story. But this isn't Scott going for broke. This is Scott. Batman is Scott, where he's just I just got to get this done, and we got to do it, and it's gonna be sloppy, and it's and it might not be what you expect, but it's gonna be done. You're gonna get a Batman book that you've never seen before, and that's the goal.
Yeah, and I can see that.
I don't love this series more than Wonder Woman.
Right.
But every time I read it, I respect it.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's funny, your read on Scott and where he is. For me, the read on Scott is comparatively to Perpetua in particular, that's a Scott at the top.
Yeah.
That's a Scott who's told he can do whatever he wants.
Yes.
This is a Scott fighting his way up.
Yeah. Fighting his way back.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But that's what it feels like.
But he didn't need to go back. He's not.
He doesn't have to.
He doesn't have to, but he is fighting.
He's doing it anyway.
Yes. This is a caged Snyder.
Yes. I mean, I definitely think, he's still going to be doing some of his Scottisms. We get a little bit of history stuff.
You're always going to get a Scott.
But I think you're going to get more character history stuff. I feel like them establishing that it's Wayland's in for the fight of his life. He's in for this big thing. He wants Bruce to help him train. Is we're going to be seeing that as we find out the fate of Wayland.
Yeah. The sequence between Bruce and Selina is something that he's never done before in a Batman book, where we have to show you this tender sequence between two characters, one of whom we know virtually nothing about.
Right.
But we get it. It tells a whole story. We have 6 pages of how Batman beats up everyone in Gotham.
Yeah.
But also we have 2 panels of their relationship. And I get it more here than in the 6 pages of I know Batman punched a lot of guys. It's my the flowers that I've given the series every time, where I'm if this was somebody who accidentally wrote an Eisner winning independent book and then was given Batman, they'd be I'm just doing Batman. Here we go. And I don't care. You're gonna have to deal with it. That's not this is a guy who's it's like Scott Snyder dipped himself in the Lazarus pit. He's Dark Knight Returns Batman. He's young again.
Right.
But he still remembers all the crap that he did and all the work that went into becoming who he was.
Right.
He's not even that old. It's just, he's not old. But this youthful energy is felt. And the pairing of Dragata is the 1-2 punch, something that I cautioned him about not doing. I was I don't know about that. And it was just because that axe issue from Spider-Man was just so awful looking.
Yeah.
But East of West and this is just
all right. So
I was wrong.
Yes and no. There are moments in this where his facial expressions will take me right out of it, but then he gives you spectacular things. It's just it is as loose and not always consistent as the book has been for me. And his art is a perfect distillation of that, where it's I'm never wow, the entire issue from beginning to end was flawless and perfect. It's always just there were some good pages.
Yeah.
And those stuff where I'm that doesn't really hit for me.
My biggest issue with the energy that Dragata brings is, and it's a page you have up right now. I can't show you guys, but it's got 9 or 12 panels on it.
Yeah.
It's the fight between Batman and Bane.
Yes.
The panels are too clean for what's happening. If you're going to crowd the page, and it reads really well. He's not crowding the page at all.
Yeah.
But you got a ton of panel work. You got a ton of action in the sequence. But each panel is a perfect square or rectangle. There's no breaking borders. It's all within the framework. I don't know if that's I don't like it. Or I think that the art could use some more freedom and flexibility. Like the format needs it.
It's just supposed to read super fast.
And it does
really what it's like.
And the panels will make you do that. You're absolutely right. Like the panels, if you box everything into those panels, it will force you to move to the next panel, I think.
Ugh.
But
I scrolled ahead to where he like becomes the whole
he's so
thing.
gross.
How do you feel about the all I can think of is Ty Lee version of fighting?
Yeah. Well, what I thought of, what's funny is I thought of Batman Dark Knight Returns.
Oh, that's
because Batman does that to the mutant leader.
Sure. No, I literally just think of Ty Lee.
Yeah. Bing, bing, bing.
Yeah. It's like, cool. Well, you don't have an Earthbender to take care of this. What are you gonna do, Batman?
Well, I mean, he's just he'll eventually be able to get his feeling back. But yeah. Good stuff. I like it.
No one's saying it wasn't meant, by the way, to answer someone in chat. So this is not random.
Because
you can't, but you can't understand where it's like, why would you suddenly say this? No one's saying that's not meant to read fast. I'm saying that's why the number of panels are there. And Sal's just saying he was just surprised at how
restricted
it was, like to box the panels in as opposed to allowing some of the movement to break beyond the panels. Yeah. It was interesting. And maybe that's just meant to make you feel like Batman's trapped.
Yes.
Like it's supposed to give you that feeling of that, or it's just that he was like, I want to show you all these things.
I think you're right. I think
there's a couple of reasons.
You're meant to feel trapped.
Yeah.
Because the panels do get bigger when Bane gets bigger.
Well, we also show you a bunch there because they want to show you all the tights on that, which was like the last thing I wanted to see.
Right, but once Bane becomes like Apex Bane, it's a full page.
Yes.
Like he breaks out of that box. It could be intentional, which I enjoy. I think it's great. Yeah. It's a really good book.
Yeah.
What's the best book of the week? What is the book of the week?
Why don't I ever think about these things while we're doing the show?
Right?
Or before the show?
Because, okay, I want to give a big shout out to Giant Size Amazing Spider-Man. It was a fun, glorious read. I had a great time. I really enjoyed it. But I think there are two other books that I like more, or at least that I think are like superb comicking. One of them is the Trinity book. I thought it was like joyful and fun and consistent, and it showcased like some of the reasons why I like King as a writer. And I don't want to seem like I'm a simp for Dark Patterns, but it was Batman Dark Patterns. Batman Dark Patterns is such a superb book.
That's perfect. I get it. For me, it couldn't possibly be Trinity because if you put Pariah in your book, then it's not going to be my book of the week. I think it has to be Ultimate Black Panther, honestly. I was just...
Because things are happening.
Well, also, like, if you can take a book that's called Ultimate Black Panther and not have like the main character in it, much like an Ultimate Spider-Man, and I'm still enjoying the hell out of it, and I feel like all it did was continue the story in some way, shape, or form, I think that's a complete win. I think Hill really has just been like building this incredible momentum, and everything that these characters do within these pages has been fueled by 16 other issues leading up to these moments. So it's like when Okoye goes in to like see if she can kiss him. When Killmonger finally takes the throne, I'm like, you can see all of where this is coming from, the root of it all. Yeah. So good.
So before we get into the recommendations, let's take a look at some super chats. Stuart Boyd, thank you very much for your support. And Lich Life 622, whoop whoop, best part of my Monday.
Thank you, man. Welcome to Monday.
Yeah.
Oh, it's me. Mark says, hey Tiffany, or Silent Tiffany. Hey Tiffany, it's just me.
No.
The first time seeing you live, but I'll have to catch you on the repeat since it's late in the UK. But big thanks for being awesome. Well, thank you for joining us, and hopefully we'll see you on the repeat. Hi.
Cheers. Stupid Sandwich says, what other cracked mirror interpretations of classic Batman villains could we see in the Absolute Universe? I feel like Thomas Hurt could work. Also, we have to have Kirk Langstrom. I think we did get Kirk Langstrom in this because there is a giant bat skeleton in Arc M.
I mean, that could just be a giant bat skeleton.
Or it could be like a proto Kirk Langstrom. I think Professor Pig is next.
I was going to make that joke that that's what they're going to do, but I wonder if he'll do that.
Yeah. But great question. Thank you very much.
Hulkzilla saying, get James Gunn to jumpstart the 90s Image cinematic universe.
I would love to do a thought exercise about that, where it's like, who would do that? You know, you got to get Kirkman involved, but like, who would be your like, you know, your James Gunn or your Kevin Feige, who would be like, I'm gonna make Image, like we're gonna do all of them, you know?
Who's yours?
I don't know.
The guy makes the Predator movies now.
Yeah. He's great. Yeah.
I don't know.
That'd be cool.
Well, you just could take things that like seemingly on paper seem ridiculous and makes them seem cool.
Make them work. Yeah.
Makes it work.
That's fair. Grayson Red The Supple Boys have returned. Keep it up, guys. Thank you, Grayson. Thank you for not making me feel like I'm crazy for saying that.
Maybe they're just agreeing with you. 2Time480 saying, I know Gunn said it's not likely Pattinson would play him in the DCU, but he also said there's a non-zero chance he could. And at this point, I'd be very okay if they canceled another grounded Batman movie and just had Pattinson play him in Batman
Brave and the Bold.
Oh, thank you. I was like, what? I'm like, Batman and animated the B. Yeah, Brave and the Bold. Even if people don't get confused, it still fractures and divides your audience while directly competing with yourself and your brand.
That's a fair interpretation.
1,000%.
I just like Pattinson as Batman, and I like how he develops into the Batman that could be in part of a larger universe. So I was like, this is smart and it's clean, and you don't have to worry about like Matt Reeves deliberately like trying to keep things out of your universe.
Right.
Lenny Laserdisc, hey Sal and Tiffany, do you guys have a preference in screen sound format when you go to the movies? IMAX, Dolby, 3D, 4DX, etc. Thanks always.
Dolby.
Yeah. I prefer Dolby overall. IMAX, it's either you're getting like shortchanged when it comes to the screens, or the screen is too big and you're in the wrong spot. I've never experienced the 4DX, so I can't say, but I can't imagine being like, I need to smell sulfur in this scene. Like I would do it. I would definitely. I want to do it. I would definitely do it. Yeah.
But right now it's Dolby, and I think it's also just because there's fewer seats. It's a little more intimate.
It is, and like the sound's better. The sound is
excellent, and the way in which ours does it with like the walls, where it's like you really don't see the people in front of you, so it really is just the people around you that you're with when you're watching this movie.
And the seats are great.
Yeah, the seats are wonderful.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's ours. Bear Farmer, Killmonger, I don't think I should be king. Priestess, you can never be king. Killmonger, hey, you can't tell me what to do. You know what? I'm king now.
Yeah, very much. I mean, like, come on.
Yeah,
he wanted that.
Exactly.
He wanted to be told
he couldn't be king. Yeah. I finally broke down and actually bought all the Ultimate Black Panther books. Great series. Feels less than the rest of the universe, though. I don't know. And Wood spent so much time saying, no, this is real, just for Hill to show up and go, nah, you're right. Like, I knew it. Why are you wasting so much time?
I think because we're probably there. It's not clear. It's not clear cut.
Right.
I don't think it's going to be black and white.
No.
With this issue for sure.
Yeah.
In terms of Black Panther, I think that just depends. It simply comes down to the fact that like Hill's really doing his own thing over there. And it's just so contained within the Black Panther mythos. I personally think it's one of the most like fleshed out universes that has been put out there.
I agree. He also goes on to say, I love Batman literally asking the city who is hurting you, essentially, and they did a great job making the city feel alive. I agree. Yeah, that's a great moment. I love that moment. It was fantastic.
Who hurt you, Gotham?
That's in reference to Dark Patterns. He also says, celebrated my first Father's Day as a father. Day was great. I got a hardcover of Batman Dark Age, Whatever Happened to Man Tomorrow, and a paperback of Volume 1, Ultimate Spider-Man.
Wow. That's a great haul.
Bane v Batman felt like a childhood lightsaber fight. Boop, your arms are gone. Boop, legs. Now you have one leg. Fantastic issue. What a horror. It's true.
Yeah. No, I hit you there.
Yep.
No, I got you. Dan V900 saying the Null announcement with returning in Venom 250 to confront MJ Venom with no Cates is awful. I don't like Null much, and he has been overused. Marvel slightly better Batman Who Laughs, just over it.
I don't know. I think Batman Who Laughs might be a little better than Null, though I have enjoyed Null. I loved King in Black, and I thought it was a fun story, and I think, I don't like the idea of Null returning without the original creative team, but I also don't know what to expect from them. I certainly don't find anything that's happening with Venom to be engaging enough to warrant the King in Black's return. So,
Yeah.
He also goes on to say, did you see Predator Badlands leaked poster? The film codenames being Backpack is funny. Can't wait for the trailer.
It's just being called Backpack.
That's fun.
Not Predator Backpack.
Not Predator Backpack. Seen Killers twice now. Nice.
Yeah. It was great. We really enjoyed it.
I don't see the poster.
No.
Let's recommend some comics that are coming out this week.
I would love to do that. Absolute Flash #4 is coming out. This book's interesting. The art in it is so good, though.
Yep. Also, I don't think he's wearing a suit. So I think we might have seen a flash forward in the last page.
A flash forward? Mm-hmm. That would make more sense because I really did not love how quickly he was like, all right, never mind.
I guess I'm Flash now. Tech 1098. I enjoy this, though it is a little bit wheel spinny.
Did you say Tech?
Yeah, Detective Comics.
Yeah,
they call it Tech. Oh. Ultimates 13. We'll see how that goes. Amazing Spider-Man 6.
Okie dokie.
Oh no.
Yeah, I can see it on the cover already.
So John Romita Jr. is on it. So I can't recommend it, but I will say I'll read it. Wonder Woman 22. I enjoy that series.
Okay.
Aliens Avengers number 4. Finally.
Oh my God, I
It's been
forgot.
84 years, but AVA is ending.
This is like this book is the equivalent of me putting tea on the counter.
Yes.
My tea.
I forgot all about it.
New Gods number 7 is coming out. I really like this series.
Yep.
It's great.
Wolverine 10 is a good book.
Moon Knight Fist of Khonshu number 9. Moon Knight, how are we going to do this? Let's make it happen. Love it. Zatanna number 5 coming out. Easily just one of the best Magic series coming out.
Yeah.
Is it me now again? Oh, Bug Wars number 5.
Yeah.
Hello.
Godzilla vs. Avengers. We'll see how that goes. It's New Avengers, like the real New Avengers. So that'll be fun.
Yo, there's another Jeff book coming out. Excuse me.
Yeah, it's just called Jeff the Landshark number 1.
It's just called Jeff the Landshark number 1. Oh, written by okay, I'm in.
Yeah, Kelly Thompson. Okay.
I'm here. Let's go. It's not Gurihiru, but that's okay. I'm still gonna check it out.
Yeah.
Why not? Why not? Hot off his star making appearance in Marvel Rivals. I love that that's the thing. They're like,
yeah,
it's just what made it happen for him. Okay, everybody.
Right.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see about that one.
All right. Go ahead.
That's it.
Oh, all right. Don't forget, Phantom Road's still going on. I have to never be able to catch up to it.
It's only 13 issues. It's not so bad.
Just buy the trade. I got to give up on trying to buy individuals on that one.
Yeah.
I recognize that. It's fine.
Right?
It's fine. Oh, it's me. Rins 24 RNDS 24 saying me yearn for a Daredevil Born Again review.
From the show?
Yearn.
We liked it.
Yearn.
We're not going to do that.
I mean, you could at some point.
I'm not going to talk about that again.
I mean, you could talk about it on the podcast with Ben and Ethan a little bit.
Yeah. They watched it, or at least one of them did.
Well, Ethan did, and I know he has had thoughts.
He did have thoughts. That's true. But I think I'd have to watch Andor in order to, meet him halfway.
What? Oh, okay, I get it. I was like,
season 2, because he's like, have you seen it yet? And I'm like, no, not yet. He's like, I don't want to talk about it.
That's really, really cute.
He's like, it's such a good. He's like, I love it. It's great.
Oh,
we loved Andor the first season.
We did.
It was like $600 million or something like that.
I think the problem, like for me right now, is I
just can't be bothered to care about Star Wars.
No, I don't even think it's that. I think it's just I really enjoyed the other one, and I'm just like, I don't want it to.
No, it
not
won't
be.
It won't be worse. It's just
Oh man, and don't forget, there's a new Zdarsky comic news coming out.
Yep. Increasing its circulation, the series is this magazine is continuing to be at local comic book stores and so forth. So check it out.
Can Batman just solve everything with money? Just tiny.
No, it's boring. Yeah.
Oh, he's doing manga. He's talking about manga.
Yeah.
Because he's like recently been like, he's one of those people. He's like, wait, what's this?
He did a podcast all about
I know.
Manga Splained, I believe it was called.
Was it really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Kind of poor taste.
He didn't name it.
Okay.
But no, because he's never watched it and they're explaining it to him.
Oh, okay.
That's it.
Sorry, Rob, you didn't get there fast enough.
Thanks a lot for hanging out with us, of course. Don't forget to check out Tiffany on twitch.tv/ComicPop or youtube.com/ComicPopPlays.
Yeah.
If you have not been watching any of those streams, you're missing out because there's a lot of fun and you've seen more of the team on that channel than ever before.
Yeah, recently. Not this week for a fact.
Yes, because you are doing some catch up.
Everyone is busy.
Yeah, that's right.
Week.
Yeah, we're not even shooting back issues this week because the guys are not around.
Well, and that was an error in
everyone's scheduling.
In scheduling.
Yep.
Oops.
Well,
because someone already asked, like, can you fill in? And I was like, I can do that. And then the other person was just like, wait, you could just fill in. And I was like, okay.
Okay, but I can't do two people.
I could try. We could split screen it.
Yeah.
And as Ben suggested, and I'll also host it.
Yes, exactly.
So I'll just do a book that I love for me.
I mean, that'd be fun.
And then like I'll be like, wow, Tiffany, you're so insightful. It's my episode.
Wow, Tiffany.
Wow. It'll just be me and Ripley.
That'd be great. We should shoot that.
No.
You have to keep an eye on like what you say so you can answer yourself properly.
Right. Yes.
We can pull that off. But yeah, check out those streams. They're fantastic. Tuesdays and Wednesdays typically on the weekdays.
Yeah. those weekdays.
So check those out. If you don't remember what I just said, just click the description below this video and you'll find every link to everything we do. You can also join our Discord.
You'll find every link.
Every link for all the stuff that we are and what we do is in that description box. So please click them. And yeah, we want to thank you so much for hanging out with us. Thanks to our super chatters for sponsoring today's show. We really, really appreciate it. It keeps the lights on here at ComicPop. And of course, to the chat for being cool and respectful to each other. We do appreciate that. Thanks to our pals, Ethan and Griffin, for stopping by and promoting their books. We do appreciate you guys stopping by. And before we get started, I want to mention that this show is brought to you by the All-Stars panel at San Diego Comic-Con this year. If you are going to be at Comic-Con International in San Diego, you should stop by the library. That's right. Leave the convention and walk about 10 minutes away to the library, where you, on Thursday night at 5 p.m., will get to see me and Joshua Williamson and perhaps a special guest stop by the show. We'll do a show live, take your questions, and hang out.
That's actually not a bad, like, at night. So it's like you leave the convention, you're wrapped up. Before you have dinner, you pop into the library. You hang out for a little bit. You get your dinner plans going. You listen to the panel, and then you go to those dinner plans.
That's right. So Thursday night, 5 p.m. at the San Diego Library or whatever it's called. It'll be in the program, but check us out. Me and Josh and a special guest, perhaps. He's confirmed to come, but you never know what happens because we had to move the time originally so that they could go to a very important dinner that was for work. So you never know what'll pop up again. But 5 p.m. Thursday night, San Diego Library. It's Comic-Con International.
It's gonna be amazing.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be really fun. I haven't done like a live panel in a long time outside of your and mine at ZapCon.
It's okay. It's definitely not the same.
No, it's not. Yeah, there'll be chairs in that one. But thank you so much for hanging out, and we'll see you guys next time with another episode. And I will continue to remind you about that panel because I would like to impress my friend Josh with how many people we can get to show up to the library.
Heck yeah.
I don't even know. I don't even know if you need a badge to go.
It's at the library.
It's at the library. I think you could just go.
If you're just in that area.
If you're just in the San Diego area, just go to it.
Just go. Just bring your friends. Bring your friends and family.
Yeah.
Even if they're like, what are we doing here? But like, who cares? Shut up. Get a book.
Don't do that. Don't drag your abuela to the show.
Get them over there.
All right. Thanks a lot for hanging out. We'll see you guys next time. Anything else we should mention?
No.
Nothing else going on, right?
No, it's just a big episode coming up for back issues.
Yeah, episode 600. I am almost done editing it. So sorry to the patrons, but you will get early access to another episode soon. Oof. Yeah, 600 episodes. We just recorded the 500th episode.
Wow.
So
that's what
weird.
you feel like.
It does.
But no.
Also, big quick shout out to Tiffany for being an awesome host and for being an amazing person. Thank you so much for doing this show and for all your support and everything that you do for this channel and for me. Thank you.
You're welcome.
See you guys
You're
later.
welcome.
Damn right. Yeah, no, you're welcome is the right response. I appreciate it.
It's okay. Bye.